Welcome back to DKR Texas Memorial Stadium. He's Cory Moraes, I'm Jeff Jones, and Cory, coming into tonight's game, which ended with a 51-3 Texas victory over Louisiana Monroe. Entering this game, the biggest storyline was clear. It was Arch Manning's first career start, and just a moment ago off camera, you accurately described what you saw from young Arch Manning.
Yeah, he was a polished redshirt freshman, right? He had some highs, he had some lows, but he also had some room for improvement. I'm sure Sark is excited to get into the film room with him to chop up everything and see where he can improve on.
Yeah, definitely. And the fact that you said he had highs and lows, that's kind of what I think he did best. The fact that he had highs and lows, but then highs followed the lows. One bad play did not make for one bad game. He was able to turn things around after an underthrow and throw a touchdown and lead this team to a dominant victory. I like to see that from a young quarterback in his first start. And you know what, Cory? That's a really smart thing for me to say. You know how I know that?
How?
Because Sark agrees with me.
We have a next play mentality, and I think you struggle in our program when you don't, and because in practice you can get exposed. And so I don't think the Arch we saw today in dealing with some of those negative plays was the same guy we saw a year ago at this time, and so he has grown a ton, and that takes a lot of maturity to get that done. I think he's got a really good guy to watch in Quinn, because Quinn has evolved that way as well. But again, I was very proud of him tonight because, hey, interceptions happen. Like that's part of the life of being a quarterback. Hopefully, over time, they start to get reduced. How he responds to those and then continues to move the offense is really important, and he did a good job of that tonight.
Sark mentioned Quinn in that soundbite about Arch. We don't know at this moment yet if Quinn will be healthy enough to start in the SEC opener against Mississippi State coming up on Saturday. But whether it's Quinn or Arch against Mississippi State, they're going to have a good running mate in number 23 standing next to him in the backfield.
Man, Jaden Blue looked sensational tonight, right? 25 carries, over 100 yards rushing, and 4 total touchdowns. True bell cow, it felt like. When you have a redshirt freshman and Arch under center, you want to have a stable horse in the backfield, and that's what Jaden Blue was tonight. And funny enough, we are wondering if he was even going to play, right? Because he missed last week's game. Before the game, I was looking at him on the sideline, and he wasn't really that involved in the warm-up, so everyone was wondering, is he going to start? Well, he did, and it seems like Sark and the rest of his staff planned for Jaden Blue to start earlier in the week.
And so we pushed him Wednesday and Thursday. He really responded well to it, and he ran extra even on top of that to make sure his conditioning was right. And so once the game started to get going, I think Blue's a really good player for us, and he's a different style of runner that we've had historically. But man, he's a weapon, and he can get to the edge. But a lot of his yards are between the tackles. He really hasn't gotten to the edge. We've been getting him the edge in the passing game, but because of he's taking care of the ball so much better now than he ever did, before in his younger years here. He's really reliable that way. But yet the versatility.
Very reliable back, and you can rely on this. Texas will open SEC play 1 week from tonight against Mississippi State.